I'm Randi Lynn Veenstra, and I'm a Senior Managing Director at Ontra. Winnie and I are going to meet with my old friend Liz Muscarella from Carlyle. Come join us. It'll be fun. Liz, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Good to see you.
How are you?
Good. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
I know. Lots have changed.
Yeah,
This is Winnie.
I can. Sure.
Sure, we'll start with Winnie.
Hi, Winnie. Let's
We'll
start with
Winnie.
you. Yeah.
And we'll start with this.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I know. I'm not totally prepared, but I'm like semi-prepared.
You will be.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I think it's one of the reasons I became a lawyer, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they chatting about?
So my dad's, the brothers side of the family, most of them, or all of them, are either in insurance or law.
Okay.
So it would be, a group of men talking like brothers, so they had that dynamic going along, but also talking about each other's cases, talking about each other's clients.
Wow.
No names, anonymous basis. Everything was on the up and up. But they, one of my uncles, usually one in insurance, would tell a story of some gruesome thing that happened, and then they would all debate it. And they probably were doing this for much longer than I remember. But what was great for me about it was just hearing how the legal minds thought about something versus insurance, which was a lot more commercial minds.
Oh, yeah.
So they would have these debates that were very much like seeing it from both sides of the spectrum, and I would listen in. I do think that kind of conversation about how people talked about law, how they thought about problems and liability and negligence and all of that was one of the reasons I became a lawyer.
I have a picture in my mind right now of 7-year-old Liz being like, what is negligence?
It really
was your first torts course?
Yeah, I think it was. So I'm the in-house counsel for ESG, which is, I really like it, and it's definitely somewhere where I'm getting those eureka moments.
Sure.
Including now because it's a new field, and a new field to me, so I'm learning things all the time and connecting the dots for how, certain issues and certain questions flow through everything that we do.
Right, and
on the public company level, funds level, and portfolio company level.
I was going to say that, right?
Yeah.
Because the eureka moment is the puzzle of bringing all of the pieces together. Mm-hmm. There's so many different pieces when it comes to that.
Yeah, there are.
And
it's moving all the time, which makes it difficult right now, but challenging, and being out on the forefront is great. One of the things that Carlyle has done just about a year ago is we got together with some of LPs and some other GPs, and we spearheaded this group that is called the ESG Data Convergence Project.
Okay.
And the idea there is just to get a start.
Okay.
Let's start on having a set of unified data that we're all trying to report on.
Right.
And we all, that have signed on the GP side, everyone who signed up is doing reporting on an anonymous basis for our portfolio companies.
Right.
And then using, centralized data and creating a benchmark.
Sure.
And I do think the important thing is we got started.
Yeah.
And we are finding some connections. We are finding those eureka moments.
Right.
But we currently have been starting with really 6 data points that we're getting reporting on.
Okay.
In the first year, that was the first year, or 6 categories, a few different data points. And then the idea is as this grows and as we get more sophisticated and we learn what people want, we learn what we can measure, we'll add in new data points every year.
Right.
But for now, we've gotten the 6, and our first year is just concluded, and we're actually starting to see some interesting data come out.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
there's your eureka moment.
There's a eureka moment.
There's your eureka moment.
A eureka moment, that goes both ways. We have eureka moments that, start to validate some of the theses we've had, some of the opinions we've had.
Yes.
For example, about, women sitting on boards, the companies having a more profitable growth. And then some that are actually very surprising, but still eureka moments in the PE world.
Okay.
One of those being that it seems that private companies are actually creating jobs faster than public companies, which is against the whole narrative of private equity.
Right.
And definitely a eureka moment that our team seized on and thought, was a real way of contributing on the ESG front.
Well, the narrative that's been placed on private equity. Yeah. No, that's great.
It's a win-win, right? We're breaking down the narratives, and we're also creating jobs.
Yeah. So aside from what I'll call the explosion of ESG in the topic, is there another reason why Carlyle wanted this role to be expanded?
I think explosion is actually a great way to think about it and a great way to talk about it, and that plays into this. But the explosion is across kind of all sorts of areas, right? It's LPs, it's the broader market, it's regulators. There's a lot going on the regulation side, and so that's one of the reasons that Carlyle thought it was good to have some in-house expertise, and I'm serving as that role.
That's great. Yeah, you're at the forefront, which is wonderful. All right, so last one for you.
Okay.
I'm going to make it a biggie. Kidding, don't get nervous. In terms of the biggest takeaway, if someone listened to the last 20 seconds here, what would you want them to take away from the video?
I'm not sure it's something we totally touched on, actually. I think what I would want people to take away from sort of the conversation we're having, and an example is the data convergence project, is we shouldn't be letting perfection get in the way of good here. And so we need to just get started on some things and start to build out the expertise and the kind of market approach to some of these. But let's get together in a room, let's have people who care about this, LPs and GPs, all talk about it and figure out what we can do to start and then build from there.
I love it. Is one of my mantras that I live by. Okay. Perfection is the enemy of good.
Perfection is the enemy of good? I
love
enemy.
All right, maybe too far.
Just it could be an obstacle.
That's great.
Yeah.
Liz, it's been too long. Thank you so much for meeting. It was great to see you.
It was great to see you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
I hope so.